Hello everyone, welcome back to BiochemVerse where biochemistry becomes simple, visual and unforgettable. In today's lecture, we are dividing into a very fundamental yet fascinating topic, lipids classification and role in cells. Lipids are not just fats, as people commonly think. They are vital biomolecules that give shape to your cells, store energy, and even work as messengers in your body. Without lipids, cell membranes wouldn't exist, the brain couldn't function, and your body wouldn't survive temperature changes. So, you have to focus on all the keywords that I will say by a pressure. Like I will repeat my previous line. You'll again reconsider it, that work as a messenger in your body. Without lipids, cell membrane wouldn't exist. Your brain couldn't function, and your body wouldn't survive temperature changes. So let's start exploring lipids in depth, from their chemical structure to how they make life possible. So let's move forward. So what exactly lipids are? Lipids are a diverse group of organic compounds that share one key feature. They are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents. So they show the hydrophobic property. So they are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvents like ether, benzene, or chloroform. The term lipid comes from the Greek word, as in the previous lectures I have mentioned on the carbohydrates, that carbs also come from the Greek word. So lipids also come from the Greek word, that's lipose, means fat. In the carbohydrate, that's come from the carbose, that means the sugar, sweet. And in the lipids, they are derived from the lipose, meaning fat. Chemically they are composed mainly of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. As in the carbohydrates, these are also manufactured or made up of composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, though some may also include phosphorus or nitrogenous compounds atoms. Their general chemical formula for simple fatty acid can be represented as mentioned here. The general formula CnH2n minus 2 O2, but it varies widely depending on the lipid type. One classical example is stearic acid, that contains 18 carbon, 36 hydrogen and 2 oxygen, a saturated fatty acid found in animals, fats and butter. The key point here is lipids are non-polar, which makes them hydrophobic. They repel water, and that's exactly why our skin doesn't dissolve when we take a bath. If our skin dissolves, and if the lipids dissolves, then our skin dissolves, then no one even dare to take a bath. But seriously, and I don't even think about that, a day without bath. Enjoy lipids from the waterproof batteries, barriers of life. In short, lipids form the waterproof barriers of life. So moving forward, we'll discuss about general functions of lipids. I have tried different font style here, so it looks fascinating. So making presentations, I like it. So general functions of lipids. Now that we know that lipids are what lipids are, let's understand why they matter so much. First, lipids are an excellent energy reservoir. 1 gram of lipid provides about 9 kilocalories, which is more than twice the energy we get from carbohydrates or proteins. It's a high energy source than the carbohydrates and protein, because it's give 9 kilocalories from 1 gram of lipid, which is more than the twice the energy we get from carbohydrates or lipids or proteins. That's why animals, including humans, store energy in the form of fat. So secondly, they play a structural role, especially phospholipids and cholesterol that form the framework of cell membranes. Without them, the boundary between inside and outside of a cell wouldn't exist. So next, they act as protective and insulating material. Fat layers under the skin help regulate temperature and cushion internal organs. Like cushion, we take a cushion, it's hurting me, the corner of the couch, so give me a cushion. That's why it gives the cushion to the internal organs. So moving forward, fourthly, certain lipids serve as signaling molecules. Hormone signaling molecule, for example, prostaglandins and steroid hormones regulate inflammation, blood pressure, and reproduction. And lastly, lipids assist in the absorption of a fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. Without dietary fats, even if you eat these vitamins, your body can't utilize them. So remember this, lipids are not just stored energy, they are the multifunctional molecules of life. So that was the general functions of lipids. So moving forward, the classifications of lipids, it will be a short one. That Now lipids are classified into three major groups based on their structure and chemical composition. Number one, simple lipids. We'll discuss them broadly in our next slides, but I give you a short introduction of every type, every classification of lipids. Number one, simple lipids, which are basically esters of fatty acids with alcohol. Esters of fatty acid with alcohol. Number two, compound or complex lipids, which contain additional chemical groups like phosphate or carbohydrates. And number third, derived lipids, which are the broke down or hydrolysis products of the first two groups. Like simple lipids got hydrolyzed or broken down, or compound lipids got hydrolyzed or broken down, may be considered as the derived lipids. We'll consider their examples in our next slides in upcoming hours. We'll discuss them, so we let's go through them one by one. uh, Simple lipids. Simple lipids are the most basic and familiar type. They are formed when fatty acids combine with an alcohol, usually glycerol, forming triglycerides or neutral fats. I have mentioned the general formulas here, and we'll discuss it elaborately. Every major compounds and major components of lipids in our metabolism class, in our metabolism lectures. So their general formula is 3 carbon 5 hydrogen and a whole 2 oxygen carbon, and then a R group. That R mentions the side chain. Sorry. So where each R represents a long chain hydrocarbons of fatty acid. A classic example is triglyceride, or it may be the containing R group here, 17 carbon and 35 hydrogens with whole 3. So found in beef fat and cocoa butter. Another example is beeswax, a simple lipid where fatty acids are stratified with long chain alcohols such as stearyl alcohol. Beeswax protect them honeycomb from moisture. An excellent example of lipid based waterproofing in nature. So fats that are solid at room temperature like butter usually contain saturated fatty acid. Saturated means no double bond. No double bond in them, though they are saturated fatty acids. Oil such as olive oil or sunflower oil contain unsaturated fatty acid with one or more double bonds, giving them fluidity. So the difference between butter and oil really comes down to their chemistry. So, moving forward, the compound lipids, complex, also you can mention them as a complex lipids. Compound lipids are more chemically advanced than the simple lipids, or so. These lipids contain additional. I got a little bit flu and. That's why sorry for this one. So now compounds lipids are more chemically advanced. These lipids contain additional chemical groups like phosphate, carbohydrates or protein attached to the fatty acid and glycerol backbone. Like simple lipids were only attached to the alcohol, but this is the more advanced, so it is connected to the phosphates, maybe carbohydrates, or maybe the protein attached, like it's the glycerolipids or the lipoproteins. So the main types include phospholipids, such as lecithin and sphalin, which contain phosphoric acid. They are amphipathic, meaning one end loves water while the other repels it. This dual nature is what allows phospholipid to form the bilayer membrane of cells. And next one is glycolipids, are another type where carbohydrate chains are attached. As I have mentioned before, they are mainly found in the brain and nervous tissue. Think of cerebrosides and gangliosides, which are vital for nerve function and cell recognition. And lastly, lipoproteins are complexes of lipids and protein that transport fats through the bloodstream. For example, low density lipids, high density lipoproteins, and low density lipoproteins and high density lipoproteins often referred to as bad and good cholesterol. So while simple lipids store energy, compound lipids build cellular architecture and communication. So moving forward, the third one type of classification of lipids, the are derived lipids. Derived lipids are obtained by the hydrolysis of simple and compound lipids. As I have mentioned before in the classification in the short introduction, that derived lipids are obtained from hydrolysis and breakdown of simple and complex lipids. They include biologically active molecules such as fatty acids, steroids, fat soluble vitamins. Fat soluble vitamins includes A, D, E, and K, and eicosanoids like prostaglandins. A major example is cholesterol, often misunderstood. While excessive cholesterol can lead to heart disease, it's also essential for synthesis of steroid hormones like testosterone and estrogen, the steroid hormones, and the bile acids and vitamin D. Other examples like prostaglandins, which regulate inflammation and muscle contraction, and carotenoids, which act as antioxidants and precursors of vitamin A. So, derived lipids remind us that not all fats are harmful. Some are absolutely essential for survival. So, as I mentioned, that cholesterol is often misunderstood, but excess of everything is harmful for us, as it's mentioned in our verses in our holy books that excess of everything is harmful. So if you can take it in your personal life or anything else, you can consider all the examples here. So the roles of lipids in cell, let us explore what lipids actually do inside the cell. Number one, membrane functions. Lipids form the phospholipid bilayer, as we have discussed before, a flexible yet stable barrier that separates the inside of the cell from the external environment. Cholesterol molecules sit within this bilayer to maintain fluidity. And number second is cell signaling. Many lipids act as hormone or secondary messengers. Steroid hormones like cortisol, estrogen, and testosterone are lipid derivatives that control metabolism, growth, and reproduction. And the number third is metabolic reserve. Lipid droplets that are found inside the cytoplasm act as a long term energy store. During fasting, these droplets are broken down to release fatty acids. And so, the number four, myelin sheath. I have mentioned the three one, but I'm explaining them in the elaborate form. So myelin sheath lipids such as sphingomyelin form the insulation around nerve cells, allowing rapid transmission of electrical impulses. Imagine it as a plastic coating on electric wires. And temperature regulation. Lipids help conserve body heat. Polar bears and whales rely on thick lipid layer for insulation. So lipid act as architects, protector, and energy manager of the cell. Moving forward, fascinating aspect of lipids. Interesting examples. So here are some fascinating real life examples that show how versatile lipids are. Whale blubber act as insulation, helping whales survive sub-zero ocean temperature. Means insulation is like if the heat is inside the container, it will not leave the container, or it's cold outside the container, then the cold cannot be able to enter in the container. Container temperature remains same, and outside temperature if changes ups and downs, it doesn't matter, container temperature remains same. So the same insulation lipid layer acts in the human body or in the animal's body, like the temperature of the body will remain the same if there is the zero ocean temperature or anything else. The human brain is roughly 60% lipid. Do you consider, have you ever seen the brain of any species, of any animal? Then you will also came to know about that there the roughly digits that 60% of lipid rich in sphingolipids and cholesterol. That's why omega-3 fatty acids are essential for memory and mood. And lipid rafts, uh, tiny floating microdomains in the cell membrane, organize signaling molecule for efficient communication between cells. Even butter and cooking oils use lipid chemistry. Butter is solid because it contains more saturated fats, while vegetable oils remain liquid due to unsaturated double bond. Nature truly uses lipids as flexible tools in every environment and every living system. So that was our lecture. So the summary, understanding lipids. Let's summarize what we learned today. Lipids are hydrophobic biomolecules composed mainly of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. May contain some other compounds in their other types or classification. They are classified as simple, compound, and derived lipids. Simple lipids like fats and oil store energy. Compounds lipid like phospholipids and glycolipids form cellular structures, and derived lipid like cholesterol and vitamins play regulatory roles. Lipids are essential for energy storage, cell structure, protection, and signaling. They are not just dietary fats, they are the molecular glue and energy bank that keeps cells alive. Remember, life without lipids would truly fall apart because your cell membranes, hormones, and brain chemistry depends on lipids. So, goodbye. That's all today's lecture on lipids, classification, and role in cells. I hope this helped you understand not just the theory but also how lipids shape the chemistry of life. In our next lecture, we'll move to another cornerstone of biochemistry, proteins, their structure, their types, and function, where we'll explore how amino acids build the machines of life. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to BiochemVerse on YouTube channel, the BiochemVerse by Hammad, and on Facebook it's Hammad Bashir Khan, your destination for conceptual and visual biochemistry. Stay curious and stay scientific and keep learning. See you in the next video. Khuda Hafiz.